When it comes to Cyberpunk's more disturbing questlines, 3 always come to mind: Dream On, The Hunt, and Sinner Man. These 3 are arguably the best side gigs in Cyberpunk without a doubt, and for good reason too. They are filled with incredible writing, intriguing plots, interesting characters, and twists that will have you being like, oh my god, what the hell is going on here? It's probably because these gigs are unsettling and toy with psychological horror, something not really explored in non-horror video games. But my favorite one actually has to be one of Regina's side gigs, one that explores a more gory, body horror side of terror, one that parallels biblical symbolism, the fall from grace, the Tower of Babel, demons, temptation, salvation, one that bridges medieval folklore with the futuristic cyberpunk. A little side gig called Cyber Sighting Bloody Ritual, or as I like to call it, I don't know what genre Cyberpunk 2077 fits in, other than it being a cyberpunk role-playing game, but I feel it does horror pretty well. There are a couple of instances where Cyberpunk straight up has horror game elements. There's Solve the Cube from the Devil ending. Jeez man dude, playing this back in 2020 with the lights off, fully immersed in the story, I was on the edge of my seat paying attention to every little thing just for the game to hit me with that jump scare, man. Phantom Liberty has a Cynosure facility, aka the survival horror segment of the game. Getting followed by an AI-powered mech without any of your inventory could have you call back memories of playing Resident Evil 2, getting followed by Mr. X with 3 bullets in your chamber. But this cyber psychosis gig is something I've never seen before. This detective crime murder mystery mixed with paranormal elements. The developers even play around with cyberware abilities to mimic ghostly movements. Please let me know in the comments if there are any other video games just like this that blend these ideas together. I will definitely love to check that out. But let's get right into this gig, play by play, point out the moments that made me obsessed with it. This story takes place during Act 2 in Watson, Regina's turf. But this gig has a specific trigger which I honestly didn't know side quests can have. I thought you just had to go to the locations, but for this one, you specifically have to go at sundown, anytime after 8 p.m. Let me set the scene. You walk down this alley in the dark of night, but because it's Night City, the streets are illuminated by artificial lights. These lights are the color red. By now, you should know to stay away from any mean reds, as something dangerous and unexpected will happen. And unexpected indeed. As you proceed into the dead end, you start to see the gory mess and scattered bodies. But what is more shocking is what you don't see. No sign of a cyber psycho. If it wasn't clear enough, Johnny comes out and immediately tells V that he has a bad feeling about this. Hopefully by now you know that when it comes to this stuff, it's best to trust Johnny. The context behind this gig is that Maelstrom themselves reported this cyber psycho. You know it's bad when Maelstrom of all factions think they've gone too far, but apparently they were trying to conduct some kind of ritual. This to me was already super cool. Cyberpunk has a lot of parallels to fantasy, which makes sense as it originated as a tabletop game, but there are very few times that it's outright paranormal. There's a ghost in Edgewood Farm and the occult campfire scene in the Badlands, just to name a couple. So cool, a demonic ritual conducted by Maelstrom. I'm in. When inspecting the bodies, you notice a pattern with all of them. They all met their demise the same way. Well, all except one. According to the Mikoshi optics, the cause of death for these individuals follows: bleeding from the eyes and numerous stab wounds. Yikes. But interestingly enough, they showed no indication of resistance. What does this mean? Were they all complicit? Or maybe they passed peacefully, then they were set up for the ritual? Nah. Knowing Maelstrom, these guys most likely volunteered to be part of this. And the bodies are not random civilians, as they have typical Maelstrom gear and cyberware. The reason I'm confident that this was all planned by the group is because of the lore involving Maelstrom. See, Maelstrom is not just a faction and a gang, they're a cult. They believe in achieving a higher state of being and achieving otherworldly sensations, mainly through getting high up the skooma or whatever they do in Night City. Look, my V's are all straight edge in my playthroughs. I know, boring. The ideas of rogue AI, psychopathy, sentient evolution, and the uncanny valley are all over Cyberpunk, and it's cool to see it here in a Maelstrom gig as well. But the more devout Maelstrom members believe in replacing as much flesh and bones with cyberware. This makes me wonder if the faction that we see in 2077 are a more performative version of Maelstrom, as we see people in Night City with almost, if not up to 100% cyberware, making Maelstrom look like the Little Leagues. I mean, I've seen some pretty wild looking NPCs. Bro, you deserve your own expansion. Holy crap, dude. Dude, I'm scaring them off. I'm scaring them off. Or maybe it's more about who can get more creative with it. Look at their leaders. And I think the Maelstrom members we see at the ritual are more radical when it comes to their beliefs. Radical enough to gouge out their own eyes and bleed out, get chopped like onions. Oh yeah, there's a person in the tub in the middle that they're a bit chopped. But why? What was the ritual for? What were they trying to summon? Hey, look over there. Maybe we can ask him. There's one more member left spewing nonsense.
Lilith has concealed the 10th circle from the ancestors' eyes.
The hell is this?
What the hell is Lilith? Yeah, not much really we can go off. But he has a shard, so let's read it. Everything's ready. The circle is drawn. The lamb awaits the slaughter. Come as soon as you can. We can't wait anymore. My silicon craves blood. Cables are crackling. Links are sparking. Modems are groaning so loud I can't think. The abyss is impatient. The abyss is hungry. Okay. Let me go do some research. Yeah, this goes deeper than I thought. Dante's Inferno is the first chapter of the Divine Comedy, an epic poem by 14th century Italian author Dante Alighieri. This epic served to illustrate the spiritual journey to God from the perspective of medieval Europeans in 1300 Italy, covering hell, heaven, and purgatory. Dante described hell as a 9-circle system, a system including limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. There are many scenarios in Cyberpunk where the net is compared to hell. The magic system hacks are called demons, which can turn people into almost godlike beings that can ultimately end up corrupting them. Even the Black Wall can be seen as the Cyberpunk version of black magic. Hell, the faction interested in them the most are called the Voodoo Boys, and the Black Wall's rogue AI can be imagined like demons. The net crash of June 3rd, 2022 is almost biblical, as it parallels stories like the Tower of Babel and the original sin and the temptation for the forbidden fruit. Rage Bartmoss wanted to release all the data stored in the net. The strive of knowledge led to his demise. And where is he now in 2077? Left in a tub of ice. Seems familiar. There are other characters in Cyberpunk that strive to go beyond the Black Wall, building their own Tower of Babels towards the net, trying to become all-knowing and powerful, and many of them meeting their end. So now, let's listen again to what the Maelstrom cultist was saying. Lilith has concealed the 10th circle from the ancestors' eyes. Dante's Inferno speaks of the 9 circles of hell, but the occultists in Maelstrom believe there is one more that humanity was not aware of, one that the medieval Europeans were too early to have known about. They believe in a 10th circle, one below treachery, that has been hidden from humanity for a millennia, hidden by one named Lilith. So, who is Lilith? The story of Lilith is not one that you'll find in one specific piece of religious text. The story of Lilith is a combination of multiple folk tales passed on by generations in medieval Europe, like the Divine Comedy. It is now ingrained into our culture and it's become one with religious tellings. And I think the Lilith we see here in Cyberpunk takes inspiration from the tales. The word Lilith in Hebrew folklore translates into night creature or night monster. What are we looking at here during this gig if not for a monster located in Night City? The tale of Lilith also talks about her refusal to be submissive to Adam. Again, a connection to Adam and Eve and the original sin. Lilith refuses to be a subordinate. Legends state that her aspirations to be an equal to Adam, wanting to be greater than her intended creation, corrupted Lilith. She's described as a demoness who preyed on the innocent afterwards. So how do we bring this back to Cyberpunk 2077? I think we're all connecting the dots here and see how this story is taking form. The Lilith that Maelstrom speaks of is a rogue AI. Man, I really should have put this in my other video. So let's put it all together. Some of the most devout occultists in the Maelstrom factions have a radical idea. The idea that will satisfy their aspirations to ascend to a higher being. One where they will leave behind all their flesh and bones. In the year 2077, they have heard of the old net and how it's blocked off from humanity. Humans were never supposed to be associating with the old net. It was a mistake that ended up causing the data crash and almost led to the demise of human civilization. The occultists believe that this was the 10th circle of hell, one that our ancestors were not aware of at the time. Why? Was it because there was no technology back then? Probably, but this mystery fueled the Maelstrom occultists even more. They wanted to call forth Lilith, the one that had been banished to this 10th circle of hell. What information could she bring? And could she take these cultists back to beyond the net? And you know what? The ritual worked. The Night City creature came, and out of that tub of ice, Lilith rose. So this is the part where the lore stops for now and the gameplay takes center stage. Lilith didn't rise from just anywhere. One of the bodies inside of the tub was a Maelstrom member named Zarya Hughes. She was Lilith's chosen vessel, which puts a seal of approval for me when it comes to comparing rogue AIs to demons. What can Lilith's actions be described as if not for demonic and mirroring her descriptions in medieval folklore? Rogue AIs refuse to be the submissive tools of humans. They believe that they are equal, if not greater. That's why during the data crash, many rogue AIs rebelled and became hostile towards the human population. And like demons, many disguise themselves as humans, using proxies to deceive and use other people for their gain, alluring them with temptation and promises of salvation. It gets more interesting when you look at Zarya Hughes' in-game model. Her design parallels that of medieval descriptions of demons. She's mostly bald, and the hair she does have left is tied into two braids that flow backwards, looking like two goat horns that are spouting from the top of her head. She also has a sharp, pointed cybernetic legs that many cyber psycho carry, making it look like she has goat legs as well. She's extremely quick, and it almost looks like she can teleport, which adds to the paranormal tension you get when investigating the area. After defeating Zarya, you can pick up a shard and the final pieces of the story are put into place. The shard reads, "The boys have prepared everything and found me a lamb. Blood would course through the fiber optics, swirling and blending with the digital, opening the gates of the abyss. Death within arm's reach. The metallic taste of his scythe on my tongue. I will tug at the tangled cables of fate. A hard reset, a blue screen, a brain reformatted. I'm ready. Luck be with me." So it looks like yes, Maelstrom was trying to contact Lilith. They wanted her to bring them into the abyss, the 10th circle of hell, so that they can be one with the net. They believe that if they were all brought to the brink of death at the same time while connected to the net, they would be open to entering beyond the net. This is probably why they chose Zarya as the sacrificial lamb, since women are less likely to go cyber psycho, ensuring she wouldn't turn and ruin the plan. But it was all too much, and she went full cyber psycho. The Maelstrom occultists were tempted by these medieval tales, and they strived for greater knowledge and to become greater than man. And them, like everyone in Night City, were punished because of it, facing the wrath of the net. Man, what a gig. And thanks to V, Night City has one less rogue AI to stress about. This was one of those side quests that sticks with me and I think about often when I look back as to why I love Cyberpunk. The sound design of the quest is something I didn't really talk about, but it's amazing. You can hear heavy breathing the whole time while you're investigating. Dude, you can feel like someone breathing behind your neck during all of this. I never noticed that. You gotta play this with headphones. You gotta play it with headphones. That paired with Zarya's quick movements, you honestly don't know if you're hallucinating the whole time or not. Just masterful immersion. But we don't expect anything less from CD Projekt Red. Sorry, I gotta glaze them. Especially because this was their writers trying to scratch the Witcher part of my brain. I mean, this quest goes full Witcher with the folklore parallels and the paranormal final boss. A lot of real world information and stories are incorporated into this one, which makes me feel that rogue AIs will play a larger role in the Cyberpunk sequel. I can't wait, man. So with that, I thank you for sitting with me on my very passionate deep dive of video game lore. Follow me on Twitch, don't call me Dave. I will become more active on there once I get a flow going with making these videos. And there's a chance you might see me getting footage or doing research for videos like this in the future. I love lore heavy games like Zelda, Resident Evil, especially Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3. But yeah, whether you do that, like or subscribe, no matter what, don't call me Dave.